Yeah. And so quality engineering then kind of, I guess for at least the start of your career, kind of became your niche, right? So you were with Raytheon for 7 years. You grew into another quality role with them, and then eventually you left Raytheon to then become a quality assurance manager for another company called KDI Triangle Corp. So what was that transition like for you? What Raytheon, they rotated you through, they identified you as somebody with leadership potential. You were growing up through their program, and you even got promoted within the organization a couple times. What was the moment when you realized you were ready to branch out and make that first career transition of employers?
So, life happens. I
Yeah.
was married at the time and had my first child, and we were away in New England, and the family was in New Jersey. My husband also was in the construction industry, and in the early 90s in New England, that industry tanked, didn't do very well. And we had family back home. My husband's father had a business, and we just looked at each other and said, now's the time to move back home. And that's fine, and that was the right decision. So I actually went to the first company that hired me, and it's not on my resume. It's a
Oh,
company called it's a company called Seton Leather, where I came in as a quality engineer. I had to work in a tannery where they take the hides off the cows and process them such that they ultimately become leather products for the automotive industry.
yeah.
I was in that job for 5 months, and this is one of the only times I made a bad career decision. I took a position that based on past history, I thought I could do it because it was similar, it was a quality engineer, but I completely didn't know the industry and I was not making good decisions. So it was mutual that after 5 months I left. And then I had 2 months to figure out what I wanted to do and apply, 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 for which then I landed at KDI Triangle Electronics Corporation. And there I arrived at a quality assurance manager role because I had led people and I knew about quality system standards. And so they needed somebody to fill that role. So it was my first real leadership role of people and applying my quality and making sure we meet customer requirements. It was the natural progression for me.
Yeah. That's an interesting. Thank you for sharing that story about that maybe that intermediate stop along the way. I'm sure that we could do an entire podcast episode about what you learned from that experience on its own.
Hmm.
But so again, quality assurance manager, you fit in and you're there for 4 years. You got them through their ISO certification, which
Yeah.
is a consistent thing on your resume, as something that you did in all of your stops, probably
Yeah.
as a quality engineer after that.
Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.